Hey friends, welcome back to my makeup wardrobe. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruby. I love to share anything and everything about makeup with you guys, and usually it's just about things that are in my makeup wardrobe or things I'm adding. And today I have officially added the Natasha Denona Glam Face palette. I have it in the dark version, so I will show you close-ups and everything about of this palette, and we're just gonna go over this together. We'll swatch it out, and then, oh my god, everything is so reflective about these Natasha palettes. And then we'll go ahead and do a look with this. So far on my complexion, I've only got my base products and my bronzer on. I don't have blush because we're gonna use that, and I don't have highlighter, and I don't have my eyes done because, hello, that's what we're here for. I will say with the packaging, it's beautiful. It's, you know, glossy, but it is a fingerprint magnet. So I didn't have fingerprints on it before this, but if you look at it now, I've just got fingerprints. You can see them around my ring light there. There are fingerprints. It's very easily, you know, attracted to them, but nothing like a microfiber cloth that you can't go ahead and clean it off. So I'm not too bummed out about that. The palette was made in Italy, if that matters to you. It is paraben free. It's not tested on animals, so it's cruelty free. I don't know if it's vegan, but it is being sold on both Natasha Denona's website as well as on Sephora Canada and US. I know that Sephora Canada still has it in stock. I'm not sure about the US. From what I was hearing from friends is that it was going in and out of stock. So that is something to keep in mind. So if you are from the States, you know, turn on your email notifications, and that way you'll be notified. It retails for $59 US or 78 Canadian, I believe. Yep, 78 Canadian. It says that it's limited edition, but I don't know how true that is, because it is a holiday release. At least on Sephora, it says it's a limited edition. So I know most of our holiday releases usually are, so I wonder if that's why. And also, this will be available on Beautylish, or it might already be available, but I saw that it wouldn't be shipping until November 12th. So just keep that in mind for if you are wanting to order off of Beautylish. You might have to wait a little bit longer for it to ship out for you. Sephora was pretty quick-ish. The night that I had ordered my palette from Sephora, it had said that it was not going to be available in store and that it was online exclusive only, which is a lie because I checked on Sunday, so that was yesterday. And it said that I could do same day pickup, so I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, I got it a day early. This was actually supposed to come in on Tuesday, so luckily I have it in my hands a little bit early so I could share it with you and let you know what my thoughts are for a kind of light medium to medium skin tone. So let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches of this palette. So in this palette, you get both eye and cheek products. There are 5 ultra pigmented eyeshadows, a highlighter, and blush. And it says that the highlighting shades have a Japanese technology that is able to deliver an extreme glow. So this comes in 2 different shades. There's a light shade, which I did not pick up, but I am here to swatch the dark one for you. Alright, so I did see something on Natasha's page, but even then I decided to give it a shot. I will note the eyeshadows in this one do not come out, so don't try and pry those out of here. She does not have the holes on the back like usual, so these are not meant to be popped out. I think that is actually her biggest flaw in this design. I think it would have been nice for her to have done it where you were able to kind of pop these out and create your own color stories. I think that these pans are the same size as the midis. They look to be about that midi size. But I will also go ahead and do some comparisons for you guys right now, just to see what these shades look like next to some of her other shades, and just do some overhead footage and look at swatches that might be similar. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and compare it to the Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow. First, this is a highlighter and bronzer duo, and I thought that we could look at the highlighter in here compared to the highlighter that is in the new one. Now the one in here is called Glow Extreme. Sorry, it's so small. That took me a little minute there to read. So I'm gonna grab this one and also grab this one. Formula wise, the one in the face or Glam face palette is a lot smoother. So let's go ahead. We're gonna swatch the one from the duo right there. So that's the one from the duo, and this is the one from the new Glam palette. So I don't know if you can tell the difference, but the one from the duo is a little bit more lighter, but also I feel like it's a little more gold toned, whereas the one from the Glam face palette has a little bit more of like some kind of champagne-y pinkness to it. So I personally, for my skin tone, prefer the one from, I can't even figure out what side, the one right here. I think this one's just a little too stark for my face, which is probably why I haven't used it very much, but there are those two. Next, I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek Face Glow palette. I just want to see if anything in here matches this highlighter. So I still have it here swatched on my arm. I'm going to go ahead and swatch two shades. I'm going to swatch the creamy one, which is this one here, and then I'm going to swatch this one, which is Super Glow Nude. So this one's more of a cream base, and then this one's a powder. This one here feels very similar to the one in the Glam face palette. So I will say that that does have a similar feel, but it almost does have a little bit more of a powderiness to it, whereas the one in the Glam face does feel more, what's the word I'm looking for? Smooth almost. This has a little more grit to it. So here is Super Glow Nude, which is definitely a lot more bronze in tone compared to the one in the new Face Glam palette. And then here is the kind of cream one. Yeah, so that one's definitely a lot different. I would say still out of all four of these, my favorite tone is the one from the Face Glam palette. I have one more highlighter I want to test out. All right, finally, I have last year's holiday highlighter, which is the I Need a Nude Glow. This is more of a baked gelée type formula. It's very, very pretty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna swatch this one again so that we can actually have the swatches side by side. So here is the new one, and here is I Need a Nude Glow. So I feel like I Need a Nude Glow almost has a more peachiness to it, whereas, so that's the I Need a Nude Glow, and that's the one from the Glam face palette. This one definitely has more peachiness to it, whereas that is still a true champagne. I almost feel like this one has more base to it as well, so it might be a little bit different on your skin, whereas that's kind of translucent. So I think that one's the winner for me. All right, so now that we've looked at the highlighters, I only have one blush from Natasha Denona. It is this one here, the Mini Bloom Highlighting Blush. That is the shade. This is like a true pinky coral, whereas the one in the palette is a dusty coral. They look nothing alike, but for the sake of comparison, I will go ahead and swatch them next to each other. Also note this one is a powder, so this is more of like a highlighty type of blush. So here's the one from the Glam face palette, and here is my Bloom blush. So you see how it's got that sheen? It's definitely not for everybody, but yeah, they're very, very different. But I don't own any other Natasha blushes, so I have nothing else to compare it to. All right, moving into eyeshadows. I'm gonna firstly go ahead with the Natasha Denona Camel 5-pan palette, the little quint here. I just thought we'd take a look and see. I'm not going to swatch any of these side by side because I feel like you can kind of tell on camera that these are kind of more mustardy tones almost, whereas I feel like these ones are leaning very warm neutral. So it's a lot different. I mean, nothing really compares, not even the shimmer in this one compares to either of the shimmers there. This one's more of a like warm pinky bronze, whereas this one here is, it has more of that gold yellow undertone to it. So I'm not going to swatch it, but I think they are very, very different in tones. Okay, so next is the bronze palette. I feel like this is the first one I thought of when I looked at the tones in here. I was like, it must be those. I'm just gonna go ahead and close this because I don't want it to get powder in there if I do end up doing some swatches. So 2 shades right off the bat. I will say this crease shade and Magma do look quite similar, but as you know, Natasha Denona's mattes do swatch a lot darker. So here on my index finger is the one from the new Glam face palette, whereas the one on my middle finger there is the one from the bronze palette. Yeah, so they're quite different in tone. I don't really see any other shades that I feel like would compare. I can also go ahead and do Suntan, and then also the transition shade. I feel like, okay, those are pretty close. Let's swatch them. So here's Suntan, and here is Transition. Yeah, those are actually probably the closest. I would say Suntan has a little bit more of like a reddy warmth to it, but they're pretty close, those two. I would say those two are pretty darn close. They're like, I would not be able to tell them apart if they were like, you know, I mean, you can, but also how different, you know? On the eyes, they're gonna look pretty like similar. I really do not see anything in the shimmers that I find would dupe, but I am gonna, for the sake of the video, try this outer corner shade next to Gloaming, which is way different. It's way, way different. Look how warm that is compared to this. Like the one from the Glam face palette is basically a taupe shade, right? So they are quite different, definitely different tones. I'm gonna save the Glam palette for last because I just feel like that's the one everyone thinks of because it's the Glam face palette, right? So we're gonna put this next to Metropolis. I feel like maybe this shade here and maybe this shade here. No, this one's definitely a cooler toned from Metropolis. Yeah, they're quite different. How about any of the shimmers? Let's do, what is this? Let's do Orium. Oh my God, Apollo's hair is like stuck in Metropolis. Let's do Orium next to Inner Corner. Again, quite different, but like similar-ish. I feel like they have similarities. So let's do Orium right there. Sorry, I have staining now on my fingers, but when you swatch them out, one's completely cool toned and the other one's completely warm toned. So they definitely are quite different. I don't really see anything else in this one that's making me think of that. So we're gonna go ahead and close up Metropolis. Let's take a look at the most recent, highly sought after palette, the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Mine is a little bit dirty because, you know, she's gotten quite a bit of use. So looking at these, none of the shimmers seem to resemble any of the shimmers from the other palette. So that's a good thing. That means we have a variety of shades. As for the mattes, I can say they're quite different. You can tell, like, I'm thinking in person that I would compare this one to this one, but this one's definitely more orange and this one's definitely more neutral. So they're quite different. Same thing with the smoke shade next to this shade here. I forget what that one's called. Log. They're quite different. I don't know, like I can swatch on my finger. But the one from the Glam face palette has a more neutral warmth to it, whereas the one in the gold is really cool toned. So I definitely think they're quite different. So I'm not going to swatch anything out of these two because I feel like nothing stands out to me that it's close enough to swatch next to. So close that one up. One more that I want to look at before we go into Glam is the Sunset palette. But I think I thought of this just because of the warmth of these shadows. And I feel like maybe this smoke shade next to Igneous, which is this one here, those are kind of similar, but you can see Igneous has a little bit more of a depth to it. So let's swatch those. So there's the smoke shade from the Face Glam palette, and here's Igneous. Yeah, they're quite different. I will say Igneous has a lot of more coolness to it than I thought it was going to. Let's go ahead and try this. I think it's Volcano. I want to try that one too. Close, but like a little bit warmer. So I feel like the one from the Glam Face is just very neutral leaning. So there is that one. The other one, I guess I can, well, maybe we can try it next to this crease shade, but I feel like this is going to have a lot of redness to it. Oh, it's because it's on a weird part of my hand. Yeah, it's almost lighter, more neutral. Do you see that? Quite different. It's really, really interesting how many browns she can come up with, because I'm a little bit stunned. Okay, let's try some of the shimmers, because I feel like maybe with this one, the outer corner shade, I feel like I'm already so far into that shadow. I was gonna try it next to this and this. They're quite different. This one's definitely more just like a brown taupey shade. This is more of like a gold with kind of a duochromeness to it almost. And this one's definitely more red based. So definitely quite different. I thought maybe something would be similar there, but it's not. We're gonna look at the moment we're all waiting for, which is the Glam palette. More Apollo hair. I feel like Apollo really likes Natasha Denona too. Now, as you can see next to each other, they're so different. They are so, so different. So I was thinking this outer lid shade, but I'm looking at it next to this. This is a shimmer though. So I don't know that I would compare the two, you know. This palette is a lot more cool toned. None of the shimmers look even close to the shimmers in here. None of the mattes in here look even close to the mattes in here. So I don't know, you guys be the judge. Let me know if you think any of them are close enough to the point where you feel like this is not different enough, because to me it's so different. I don't know, is that just me or do you guys agree? All right, so now that we've looked at the comparisons, let's go ahead and put this on our face and really get to know the formula and see what it's like once we actually apply it. All right, so now that I've zoomed you in, I've primed my eyelids, we're gonna go ahead and start on the eye look. Should we do eyes first or face? I think we'll do the eyes first. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my brushes. Okay, I do need to clean all of my brushes. I think first we're gonna take this shade here. This is Transition. And I'm just taking it on a fluffy brush. So going in with the Transition shade, I'm just gonna lay that down and kind of start buffing it out. Next, taking a Refer number 13 brush, I am going to go into the shade Crease, which is this one down here. And I just want to pop that right into the crease area right here. I'm just switching to a little bit of a fluffier synthetic brush. This is the Nabla N205. Going in with that same shade, I'm just gonna try to really buff that out. eyelids are so dry, but I'm really liking how that's looking so far. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on my other eye. Next, taking the same fluffy brush from Nabla, I'm gonna go into the smoke shade. Just gonna tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna pop that firstly in my outer corner here. And then also just gonna grab a little bit, and we're gonna pop some on the inner corner. I've been loving a halo eye lately, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna do here as well. It's looking really, really pretty and smoky. I'm also just gonna take a little bit of that smoke shade on my Refer number 13. And I'm just gonna kind of try to connect and blend all of this. The way Natasha's shadows just blend into one another is my favorite. Her mattes are just impeccable. Oh. Are you seeing this? Love it. So far, I love it. Of course I love it though. I mean, it's Natasha's formula. I wasn't expecting to hate it. So it's just a matter of how much I guess I was gonna love it. So I just cleaned off a Refer number 26. This is kind of like a larger pencil brush. I am gonna go into transition with this. I'm just gonna tap off the excess onto a towel because I don't want it to be too exaggerative. So I'm gonna pop that on the lower lash line. Going in with a little bit of the crease shade. I'm just gonna pop that right here. And then I'm gonna take my Refer number 13 because it is a little bit more stiff. I'm tapping off any excess, even though, you know, Natasha's mattes don't really seem to kick up a lot, but better safe than sorry in every situation, especially when you already have your face done. So I got that out there on the outer corner, but I'm also going to place some on the inner part of the lower lash line. So what I like to do is place it first and then kind of start to blend away. Oh my gosh. This is looking absolutely stunning. Okay, I'm just gonna work on the other eye and then I'll be right back. I'm just gonna take this large kind of concealer brush and I'm just gonna pick some of that up. It is quite flaky, so we'll say be careful. I'm gonna use some spray to wet this. Just use the MAC Fix Plus. Let's try it this way. Hang on. Yeah, that's not really gonna pack it on. I think I'm just gonna use my finger. So I've got some on my finger. And then I'm just gonna take my fluffy Nabla brush back into the smoke shade. And I just wanna blend this so that it's not losing its halo shape. I think I might put a little bit of the inner corner shade over top. Just right in the center. Yeah, that brought a lot more light to the look. Really liking how that looks. Now for the lower lash line, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take the inner corner shade. I'm gonna wet that with my MAC Fix Plus. And I'm just gonna try to pop it right underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but it is there. It does lean a little bit more pink. I think that's just because it's meant to be like more of a topper. And I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and pop that same inner corner shade into our inner corner. It's actually really pretty. All right, I'm gonna go finish up this eye, put on some lashes, and I'll be right back and we'll talk about my final, well, actually no, we'll do our face and then we'll talk about final thoughts. All right, so I think I'm gonna apply the blush next, and I think I'm just gonna use the rounded bottom of the sponge that I used, and I'm just kind of swiping that in here. I'm just getting it on here. I did go a little bit heavy-handed, but you know me, I love my blush, so let's see. Whew. I'm just gonna use the side that has my foundation to kind of tame it down a little. It's really nice. It's like, it looks like skin. I do want to get just a little bit more. I'm just gonna rub some excess off on my towel. I'm gonna smile big. Just get some on the apples there. Bounce some over the nose. I love that blush. Oh my gosh. If I had just bought this for just the blush, I mean, I would have done it. Next, I want to try out this highlighter. I'm super excited to try it out because I've only tried the two that I have. But I'm interested to see what this formula is like. Oh, actually, no, I've tried out a couple more than that. I lied. So I'm just going to dip in with my brush. Got some on there. That's really pretty. Like a gloss almost. It is more powder. It definitely is a powder, but it just looks so glossy. I do actually want to try putting some of this on just on my brow bone. Love that. Yes. Love it. Love it. All right, let's zoom back out and let's chat. All right. Okay, I didn't know that I was gonna be this excited about it. The shimmers in here are way, way different than the original Glam palette, but also like way better than some of her recent palettes. Like I feel like her shimmer formula has been kind of like, it's pretty, but it's not like if you want sparkle. And I mean, you can't see it on camera, I feel like, but in person, it's just pretty. The amount of depth you can get through this palette, like I think this is gonna look so great on so many skin tones. Like look at it. It nearly looks like I've got black shadow. This crease, or is it crease? No, this smoke shade really deepens up. Like it really, really deepens up. The highlighter is beautiful. The blush is so pretty. Now, of course, I kind of lightened mine down. I don't know how the blush will translate on deeper skin tone. So I would love to see someone with deeper skin tone do a video. When I say deep skin, I mean like deep, deep skin, because I'm not sure, like even if you're a like lighter, deep skin tone, it might work on you, but I don't know if it'll work on like the deepest skin tone out there, you know? So do I think this is like totally all inclusive? Obviously not. If you're very, very fair to light, I would probably recommend going with the lighter version unless you're looking for something dramatic. This is dramatic. Like even on me, I am light to medium, sometimes more medium leaning, and it is dramatic on me. The highlighter is gorgeous. I didn't think, when I saw the swatches online of this highlighter, I was like, ooh, that looks like it's gonna run a little bit deeper and it's not gonna translate that well on me, but are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Oh, it's so pretty. It is so, so beautiful. I love it. I love my whole vibe right now with my high ponytail, with the curls and my like bejeweled earrings. It's a whole vibe. Natasha Denona, we did it. We did the Glam face. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know what you thought about the comparisons. Is this something? Now, here's the thing with this. I don't recommend that if you've got a ton of Natasha Denona in your collection that you necessarily need this. the cheek products are definitely a winner in this one. I think they're absolutely beautiful. You get 3 beautiful matte shades, and when I can speak for the formula, I can say this performs just as well as any one of her other palettes. It was easy to pack on, it was easy to blend out, it was easy. Her shimmer formula though in this one is newer, so those 2 shimmer eyeshadows are a little bit on the flaky side. You're going to want to either use your finger, which will probably lay it on the best, or if you're planning to go in with a brush, this shade here, the outer corner shade, is very hard to pick up on a brush. I tried and I wet the brush and I tried, it didn't pack anything on, so I had to go in with my finger. Maybe one of those silicone tip brushes would work well as well. I didn't try one yet, but when and if I do, I'll let you guys know. As for this shade, this was a little bit easier to pick up on a brush. As for this shade, it was a little bit easier to pick up on a brush. You're still gonna wanna wet it though. These are very like flaky, almost topper like shimmers. Remember the NARS palette, the holiday one that I recently reviewed? Kind of like that, but not as glittery. Those are very, very glittery where you have a ton of fallout. I did not experience as much fallout with these, but I was also very careful with them after having swatched them, knowing that they were going to be flaky. So I really, really enjoyed it. I think if you haven't tried anything Natasha Denona, grabbing one of these would be an amazing way to try out both her eyeshadow formula and her cheek products. But I will say, if you do grab this and then you end up getting one of her regular palettes and you love the shimmer types that are in here, you may not be as impressed, because the other shimmers in like the regular Glam palette, or I would say the bronze palette, probably has a little bit more versatility in the types of textures that you get with the shimmers. But in the Glam palette, they're very subtle shimmers. So if that's not something you're looking for, then you might really enjoy this one. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, when and if I do travel, I will probably pack this with me. The only gripe that I have is I wish that I could pop these shadows out and that I could, you know, alter through my other palettes, because you could create so many different looks if you were able to do that. So I wish that Natasha had done that so that we could customize our own 5 pans in here. The other thing I had mentioned was that if she had just done 2 separate things where she did the cheek product and then a 5-pan eyeshadow palette, would have been really cool. But I do like that it's in one, because this is really compact. You can throw this in your bag and you're good to go. Fingerprint magnet for sure though. So would I recommend it if you already have a ton of Natasha Denona? Probably not, unless you're really interested in trying these cheek products. A good point that another creator here made on our Magpies live the other day, Karen Harris, said that if you were to buy just 2 separate cheek products, you would not be able to buy them for less than this palette. So it's kind of a bonus that you're getting the 2 cheek products plus 5 eyeshadows. So I do think in that regard, it is kind of worth the price. I really enjoyed it. I can see myself using this quite a bit actually. So I'm really happy with it. I don't think that you need to go run out and grab it, but if you did want it, now is a great time, especially if you can snag it at Sephora, whether you can get 10%, whether you can get 15 or 20% off. But if you're not ready to spend right now, I would wait and see what she does for Black Friday and if she has any bundle deals with this, because you just never know. You just never know. I don't know. Natasha's Black Friday, I only experienced it for the first time last year. I know she had a variety of stuff for 30% off. She had a lot of buy one, get one bundles. So I was about to say bungles. I can't talk today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's a sign that I just need to check out right now and tell you guys that it was great. I loved it. It was really, really good. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Leave me a comment down below. Did you pick this up? Are you considering it? I really want to know your thoughts. And also don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way out and subscribe if you haven't. I would love for you to join my little family here and we can chat about our makeup wardrobes like all the time. But that's all for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, please stay safe, be healthy, and be kind. Bye.